Okay, this is the last lesson, guys. If you'd like to write at the top of this sheet 7.7 notes, I had forgot to kind of label that here so you know what in the world is going on. So again, you've got that paper. It's just 3 examples we're doing for 7.7. It's our last lesson. Let's go ahead and get to it. So this last lesson is called directed line segments. Basically what it is you're given this line segment here, and it's like we're walking from A to B. What you're going to do is we're going to kind of shrink it down so that we're traveling a certain fraction of the length. So instead of going all the way from A to B, we're going to walk 2/3 of the way. So this again relates to proportionality in that we're talking about a fraction, a ratio of what we have to start with. We start at a whole length and we're shrinking it down to 2/3. So the way to do this, you're going to be given 2 points. What you need to do is you need to count the rise and the run. You guys know by now that you cannot count diagonally on a graph, right? So I know 2/3 is probably like maybe somewhere right around here. Like if I'm going from A to B, like that kind of looks like 2/3. But to know for certain, we're actually going to base it off the rise and the run because we know we can count horizontally and vertically on a graph. So take a second and count. I need to go over, get what that number is, and then I need to go up. So what would be these two numbers? Take a second to count it on your paper and on here as well. Okay, well I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my run, right? Because running is side to side. And then we have a rise of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, hey, this is 6 as well. So we've done this before. It's been a while, but you're going to need to kind of remember this. What we're going to do is we are going to be able to find the point 2/3 of the way when we take 2/3 of our rise and our run. So our rise was 6. I'm going to take 2/3 of. Now, way back when you guys did word problems, of actually means to multiply. It's kind of weird. But if we say a half of something, 2/5 of something, you're going to multiply the fraction. So I'm going to multiply by 2/3 here. And this is going to give me my new rise, which will be 2/3 of the way. We're going to do the same thing with the run, but in this case, the run is the same thing. So we're going to have the same number. So take a second, go into your calculator, get 2/3 times 6. And what is that going to be in both of these cases? So we should have gotten 4, right? Now, what we're going to do is we are going to take our new rise and our run, and we're going to count it to our new point. So if my new rise is 4, I'm going to start at A. The point here is that I'm starting at A. If I started at B, I would have a different answer, so be careful. So we are now going to run 1, 2, 3, 4, and then rise 1, 2, 3. Hey, I was kind of right. My estimation was pretty good. So this is my new point that is 2/3 of the way. And again, it looks like 2/3. We'll go ahead and we'll call this C. Take a second if you can count. What is that point? It's not 4, 4. Remember that we start back here. We're going to count over and up. What is that new point? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2. So this point is 2/3 of the way from point A to point B. So if I wanted to stop on my way to point B and get some coffee or something, that's 2/3 of the way. I'd stop right there, and I'd only have 1/3 left to walk. So once again, we're going to do this 2 more times. Each time you need to be careful about where you're starting to where you're going. You count the rise and the run. You take the fraction of it, and then use that to get your new point. Let's go ahead and try it again. Okay, let me double check. This picture is different, right? Okay, so this picture, the picture is the same. I almost got messed up there. Here's the difference now. The picture is the same, and the points are even the same. As well as that, we're still trying to go 2/3 of the length. But read the question. Where are we starting to walk from this time? We're starting from B. So we still are going to do the same thing where we count how far down and how far over. Go ahead and write it in. Again, it's the same points as last time, so it's still the same rise and run. What should it be? It's still 6 and 6. Yeah. So again, to review, I would take my rise of 6. Yeah, this is my rise, this is my run. And I would times it by 2/3, right? I would take my run and 6 times it by 2/3. We know that, again, it's going to be 4 in both cases. So we still will do that. Here's the difference. Now that we are starting at B, I'm going to put my pen on B. I'm going to go ahead and erase my rise and my run. From B, I'm going to count now. My rise needs to be a drop. Because if I'm going from B down to A, I'm going to have to go down 4 and then over 4. Little hint here, guys, your point needs to fall on this line. If I go up 4 and then over, that cannot be 2/3 of the way from B to A. If I'm going a portion of the way from B to A, it has to be on that line. So we're going to have to go down 4 and then over 4. So take a second and count from B, down 4 and over 4, and see if we can end up in the right spot. Okay, so down 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, that's going to be our new point. We'll call it C. So take a second. Write what that point is. Go back to the origin. What are going to be our X and our Y for that? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0. Careful. Again, we only went over. We didn't go up. That's why the 0 comes second. So once more, be very careful. You have to identify the starting point because we got different answers depending on where you're starting, right? So let's go ahead and try it one more time. I want you to be very careful. Identify your starting point. We'll go ahead and we'll break this down into 2 pieces. So I want you to first start off with what is your original rise and what is your original run. Make sure you know where you're starting from. Go ahead and get it. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get the run first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 looks like. Careful that you do not say the rise is 5, otherwise you're going to get jumbled up. That's our run. And then from here, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, I will clarify here. This is technically a -5 for the run because you're going to the left. Yeah, but that's okay. We know that our answer has to end up on the line. And so even if it's negative or positive, that kind of gives you an idea where you should be counting to. Our point has to end up on the line. And if it doesn't, you counted wrong. Okay, so the next thing is I want 2/5 of the way. Here's my rise and my run. What should I do again with that 2/5? Go ahead and do it in your calculator. 2/5 of the way means to multiply by 2/5 in both cases. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this here. So my new rise is going to be 10 times 2/5. Is that 4 again? Divide by, yep, that should be 4 again. Okay, so my new rise is 4. And then my run is going to be, again, -2. But technically, if you just say +2, that's fine. Because we should know how to count this so you end up back on the line. So I'm going to start from C. You have to start from C. I want you to count a run of 2 and a rise of 4 and put your point there. Where should it be at, our new point? Here's our run. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 and 4. This is my new point. I already have C and D, so let's call that point E. Now, hopefully you know what this point is actually. It's a very popular point. It is on the origin. What are the coordinates for E? 0, 0, because we are on the origin. I haven't moved at all, right? We're right there, dead center. So C is 2/5 of the way over to D. Again, if I'm walking from C to D and it's a long walk and I want to stop for a break 2/5 of the way, that's where I would stop. And then I could keep walking the rest of the way. So again, guys, that's all you have to do for every single question. So if you're getting confused in the homework, look back to this. It's the exact same each way. Count the original rise and run, multiply by the fraction. That's your new rise and run. Get your point. Let me stop this.